Hello and welcome to the garden. Today is our week 9 full garden tour and I'm so excited to show you everything that's going on out here. For those of you that are new here, my name is Lindsay. I am gardening in zone 6A in South Central Indiana. I have about 300 square feet here in my backyard of mostly in-ground garden space. I do have a few things in grow bags and pots that I'll show you. I use a variety of methods to grow my own food. I have an arch trellis that I grow beans and melons and cantaloupes on. I have other panel trellises like back here to grow tomatoes on. And I just have all kinds of stuff. So welcome to my beautiful mess of a garden. You'll see there's upturned tomato cages back here right now. It's always a work in progress, I always say. So thank you for joining me and let's get started. All right, so here is a quick little overview shot of this beautiful mess of a garden. This first plant right here is a ghost cherry tomato, and these down here have been on this plant for probably like 2.5 months, 2 months maybe. This one back here has had a rough life, but hopefully these will be ripening soon. These ripen to like a white with yellow shoulders, so hopefully I will be picking some ghost cherries soon. Now if we go in, I wasn't even in. This is just like right next to the gate. This is the black seaman tomato, and he's pretty tall. We thought that this was a determinate, or I thought it was a determinate because I found a listing for the seeds that said it was determinate. I don't think it is, seeing as it is setting more flowers right now, and determinate plants pretty much set all their flowers at once. There are some pretty big ones on here. This one has something on it, but yeah, that's pretty decent size. This, I need to move this back to its old spot because I think it's fine now. This is a sweet scarlet dwarf. This produces red tomatoes that are like 8 to 10 ounces on this tiny little plant. This one has not set flowers yet, but the other one has. So before we go any further, here I planted some cosmos seeds, and I think that this might be one coming up right here. I grabbed some seeds at Menards. I was out at Menards getting some other things and happened upon the seeds that they still had, and this was one of them. I think that might be one too. So I planted some here and then back there. 2 different kinds. I don't know what they're called. But yeah, I planted some more seeds. So over here in the bush bean patch, I need to pick some because you can see there's one right there. So I'm gonna go through this, pick some beans. I haven't picked beans in a couple days. There haven't been a ton out here. I think they're kind of in a lull right now, but they're starting to pick back up. These Royal Burgundies, I noticed, are setting new little baby beans, so that's super exciting. Hopefully that means these have more life left and I won't have to pull them up as soon. I am going to pull them up and replant for the fall, but I'm hoping to get a few more harvests out of these plants. These zinnias are absolutely crazy pants. I love them. I did have to tie them up, like there's a piece of twine that comes around to tie them because it was getting to the point where you couldn't get through here. So I had to do that. The herb tower is doing pretty well. There's some things I need to pull out, like this dill needs to go. This is just some clover. I don't even know how that got in there. Whatever that is dead. I don't even know what that was. So I need to just come out here and pull some stuff up and replant some things. I may end up just replanting some, I don't know, maybe some more dill. I may go ahead and plant, like there's some dill down there that didn't make it, but there's dill down there that did. I don't know. There's some cilantro that is not doing super well. It's kind of bleached. It's on the wrong side, I think. I think I need to plant cilantro on this side over here that's more in the shade. And it looks like I did plant cilantro in here, but it's not really doing much. So, that's fun. Yeah, I mean, things in here are doing pretty okay. I wouldn't say they're doing magnificently, but they're doing pretty good. I'm happy. For $12, I'm happy. Now, if we come in here, oh, first, here's the delicata squash. It's not doing great. It's very brown and dead down here at the bottom. It's still growing this, I'm not really sure how big it's gonna get, but it may be almost ready because the skin is not easily pierceable. There's another one on here, but I don't think I pollinated it fully because it's a little squishy at the end. So I may actually pick that tonight and cook it with dinner. But these beans, look at this. This is like my dream. And they come out like off the arch. Oh, it's so beautiful. These purple potted pole beans are starting to make little tiny beans. There's one up here, it's a little bit bigger. Finally, I was like, what did I do wrong? But I don't think I did anything wrong because now they're starting to make beans. I have picked one of these off of this plant, off of these plants. There's like 8 or 10 plants here. Next to that is the rattlesnake pole beans, and there are quite a few of these that need to be picked this morning. I got that pretty purple streaking going on. Now next to that we have our melon patch, I guess. It's not really a patch. And there are many things happening down here. So this is the Minnesota midget cantaloupe. These get like softball size, so like 1 to 2 pounds. And let's see, there's one right here. There's one down here. And there's one right here. And there may be another one. There's a couple more female blossoms like here that may have been pollinated. There's another one right here, and there's more coming up. So, I mean, I haven't obviously tasted these yet, but so far, based on production, I'm super impressed. These plants also are not super big. This is 2 plants, and this is all the taller they are, maybe like 18 inches. So this would be a good option for like a container. If you had a container and just like a little like stake for them to climb, I think this would work out super well. Now, this is the crimson sweet watermelon. There's 2 plants here. There is a female blossom right here that has not been pollinated yet. That, well, I don't know. Maybe it has. I'm not sure. But I'm letting this plant go. This one is just kind of weaving like this over towards the beans because I don't think these are going to get much taller. I'm just going to let it have this whole panel. But look right here. There's a watermelon. This is a crimson sweet watermelon. This could potentially get 15 to 20 pounds. So that's exciting. I have hammocks at the ready as necessary. There's another plant down here too that's starting to climb up. You can kind of see it. I don't think it's set any fruit yet. Now this down here, I planted dill and cilantro. This is not dill, this is grass. I had a bunch of dill in here and I think it may have damped off because like there's this one and there's like 3 right here and that's pretty much it. The cilantro is doing okay. I'm hoping that these cucumbers will grow up a little more before the cilantro gets too big and bolts and then kind of provide some shade. Right now, these cucumbers are going sideways and I don't really want them to do that. I'd like them to go up, but you know how plants be sometimes. Now this is the green dragon burpless and here's our muncher. There are female blossoms on both of these right now, which is very exciting. I feel like I've been waiting like 6 months for a cucumber at this point because my cucumbers are kind of behind. Last year I was picking cucumbers at this point, and this year I don't even have any growing yet, I don't think. Down here I planted some more seeds and they are coming up. This is 3 more muncher cucumbers. And then down here we have some Kentucky Wonder pole beans. I said I was going to plant this whole side of this panel with pole beans, and I changed my mind, obviously. I decided that I was gonna plant some more cucumbers and see if I can maybe get a bigger crop, seeing as it's the middle of July and I don't have any cucumbers yet. I like to be able to can pickles to last us through the whole season without getting cucumbers. So that's quite a lot. I can mostly spears, but I also will do some slices for burgers and stuff like that. But I make recipes with chopped pickles quite a bit, and so I like having them in the basement where I can just go grab a jar if I need to. So I'm hoping that planting some more muncher cucumbers will give me a bigger crop of cucumbers before the frost comes. Our average first frost date is like mid-October here, so it's mid-July. We have like 90 days, between 90 and 100 days left, so I should be good. I should have a good, like, you know, couple months, maybe month and a half of cucumbers from these plants I just planted. But these plants that are taking forever down here, I planted those things, I don't know when I planted them. Maybe it was the end of May. I don't remember when I planted those. We'll have to go back and look, because if it was the end of May, they've only been in the ground for like 45 days. So that would be kind of right on track. We had that weird weather in May with the weird frost, and then it just stayed cool, and I was nervous about planting cucumbers in the cool weather. And then they just kind of took a while because of the cool weather. So hopefully that's why. I don't know what the deal is. Last year I had picked 5 or 6 cucumbers by this point, so fingers crossed that happens soon. Okay, so next to this knocked over watering can, this is a teddy bear sunflower, and I'm really excited to see what this looks like. It's only supposed to be like 3 feet tall, so that's why I planted it right here. My marigolds right here are doing super well. They're not huge like they were last year, which is nice. This is the other sweet scarlet dwarf, and it does have some flowers on it down here. And that one actually may have been pollinated. Now, you're gonna see these little bags around all my tomato plants out here. These are little organza party favor bags, and these are going to be tomatoes that I saved seeds from. I'm gonna do a video talking about saving seeds from tomato plants, and I will talk more in depth about this. So next to that is the San Marzano, and look, there's a red one. He is about half done, I think. This plant is loaded. Next to that is our Cherokee Purple, and he's got some big old maters on him. And then we have our pineapple, and look down here. Aren't those just so pretty? They're not done yet. They will get like red on the bottom, and they'll have red streaks. These are still a little green on the top, so I'm gonna leave these for a few more days. But I'm thinking that this weekend maybe I will be picking these tomatoes. Next to that is our Brandywine Black, and it's kind of spindly, but it has some pretty decent size fruit on it. And then we have our Pink Ox Heart, which has some really big fruits on it. Like, these things are pretty decent size. I mean, they've grown really fast too, which is super awesome. And then we have our Blonde Girl Cherry, and look down here, all kinds of tomatoes that are ripening. I'm gonna pick some of these for a salad later for lunch. This is our Triple Crop right here, next to that. And it has a couple on it. They are getting a pretty decent size. They're still small, but they're getting there. Then we have our Thorburns Terracotta. I actually picked Did I pick one of these yesterday? I did. I picked one of these yesterday. But there's a couple more on here that are starting to blush. There's one back here too. Then we have our chair, what is this called? Chianti Rose, that's what it's called. I forgot, my brain shut off. There's some pretty big tomatoes on here. And then these are the 2 Kellogg's Breakfast. And both of these plants now have fruit on them, so that's exciting. I was worried, but they both have fruit on them now, which is awesome. Then we have our large red cherry over here. This one is still not blushing. I don't know why. There's I don't know, probably 12 tomatoes on this plant total right now, which is not a ton for a cherry tomato plant. So, I don't know. Next to that are our 2 Aunt Ruby's German Green, and these both have lots of fruit on them, and they're all pretty decent size. I mean, like, that's a pretty decent sized tomato back there. I'm super stoked for these. And then this is our Amish paste, and it has set some more fruit up here, which is pretty fun, and it's also above the panel. But down here, these are pretty decent size. Now these are sauce tomatoes. Last year I grew a whole patch of determinants, Roma and Viva Italia, and to use for sauce, and I didn't necessarily feel like growing all those sauce tomatoes was worth it. So I decided not to. This is the carbon tomato, and these right here, I don't know if you can see this. See how this one's getting a little darker over here? I think that this one might be about to blush. These are a really dark purple tomato, so that's super exciting. I can't wait to see what these look like. Now next to that is our other ghost cherry, and again, I don't know when the heck these are gonna ripen. There's a whole bunch down here that still are not ripe yet. And then last but not least, we have our Costaludo, and there is finally little baby tomatoes on this plant. All right, so last but not least is the pepper patch, because these grow bags are empty. I pulled the squash out of those. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to re-sow some squash, some summer squash, to see if I can get any before the frost, or if I'm going to plant something else in those, so stay tuned. But these peppers look magnificent. Tons of peppers growing right now, jalapenos, chocolate beauty, bell, cayenne. Look at all those cayennes down there. And then look at all these pepperoncinis. These are super awesome. I love it. And then over here we have our Keystone resistant giant bells. And there's lots of little pepper butts. But then back here there's this one big one, which I love. So that's gonna wrap it up for our week 9 full garden tour. I can't believe it's been 9 weeks since the garden went in. Well, some of the garden went in. Everything did not go in 9 weeks ago. The key to a successful summer garden, I think, is just keep planting throughout the season, especially when it gets hot and your plants start to peter out. Sometimes if you plant new plants in the space of the old plants, you will get a bigger and more successful harvest. So, I mean, keep that in mind. Once the garden's in, the work's not done, unfortunately, as much as we'd like it to be sometimes. So, thank you for coming along on my full garden tour. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.